Oh, hello, class. Sorry for the late assignment. I just got back from time building. I logged like 70 hours this week of flying. But let's get right into this. So, long-term impact of crime and terrorism on airline travel. Now, this crime and terrorism is the most optimal thing, especially for whenever people want to get on modes of transportation that are quite scary, at least in the minds of the less informed. As one prime example is after 9/11, right? People were really scared to get on jets because they didn't have a guarantee that they didn't think there was a guarantee that they were gonna walk away alive. Um, since then, airline security has grown from, basic, walk through the door and go to your gate to, whatever you see right here on the picture right here with scanners scanning for, metals and these guys patting you down. And these changes, affect the industry and the actual passenger experience. And that comes with a bunch of different, societal and financial industry changes. Um, so obviously the introduction, aviation security has evolved dramatically since 9/11, transforming from basic screening to comprehensive threat assessment, with multi-layered security approaches. With don't bring water bottles for, so you can't make some sort of hydrogen and oxygen separator machine somehow. I don't know, but and just lines and lines and lines of X-rays. Uh, so economic impact extends not just beyond the immediate cost of let's say the Twin Towers fall. It's a lot. It's billions of dollars, but the fact that less people fly and that means less growth for the airlines and less business travelers, less business being conducted. It's a whole domino effect. Security measures must balance effectiveness with passenger experience and operational efficiency. Understanding these dynamics is essential for developing sustainable aviation security policies. So you can't just now security is very important, but there's a line that has to be drawn. You can't go too far else. You're going to go just for too far in the other direction. The immediate impact of an attack is obviously declining passenger demand and volume, flight cancellations, airport closures, and people just not wanting to fly. Long-term impacts, security, long-term impacts, just security changes just in general. It is the long-term impact of, for example, 9/11 is that every airport in the world now has something that looks like this instead of just walking straight through. And not just that, the fact that these airports and these entities have to comply with new laws and regulations as a result of these terror attacks. And so that kind of increases operating costs and decreases efficiency to some degree. And also, I'm writing an essay about this semester. Stuff like new technology for like facial recognition that's been implemented. That I'm interested in something called Clear Plus, but I really don't want to give my information out. I feel like it's really sensitive, so it's really gone to actual biometric identification of people without like just looking at them fingerprints and even facial recognition. Um, Economic and social consequences. The industry loses billions and passes the cost to the passengers, right? Uh, Obviously, travel has been getting cheaper, but it could be cheaper if it wasn't for increased safety measures. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's definitely a cost uh, that is taken into account. Sorry, but that's really late. Um, and not just that, the social aspect of it. Travel is not like as streamlined as it used to be. Obviously, I was born after 9/11, but all I heard was that you can just walk through and just really relax. So it's a little more nerve-wracking, unless you have nothing to hide, I guess. um, so in conclusion. Let me also, sorry about that. Regional economic impacts on tourism-dependent locations, employment effects across aviation and related service industries. So, if employment, sorry, I can't think straight. Conclusion. Crime and terrorism have fundamentally reshaped the aviation industry. Long-term impact extend far beyond immediate security concerns, like social and societal concerns. Our ongoing investigation and security measures remain essential for public confidence. People are weary. Me, I'm a laid-back individual, but other people, not so much. And so every time they step on an airplane, they're really weird. What's going on? Or they're crazies on the airplane or whatever, right? Uh, and so these security measures need to be taken. International cooperation crucial for effective threat mitigation. Uh, Balanced approach needed between security and passenger experience. Continuous adaptation required to address evolving threats and maintain industry viability, meaning the industry has to evolve with the threats. Just like in the presentation by Dr. The professor at TAMUCT, Prather, Dr. Prather, we have to evolve with these threats. These threats are becoming more advanced. And so if we just stop where we're at right now, they're gonna pass us. And so we must, the TSA and all these protection agencies protecting passengers against terrorism must protect against must actually advance technologies to protect against evolving threats.